What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Easy Button Investor podcast. I'm your host, Ruud-Johnson. And today's show, we are getting into who to hire and how to know you're getting a return on that hire and who to hire after that. So very nitty and gritty onto people, right? Because people are what build businesses at the end of the day. So without further ado, let's get right into this show. Well, if you're a returning listener, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. These are 7 to 15 minute bite-sized episodes going very tactical, very deep on a given certain topic. One of the themes that I've been thinking a lot about is commitment. And there's two ways I'll take this before we get deep into today's show. The first one is just how low the bar is of excellence. You know, I believe podcast wise, I think it's 67 episodes to be in the 1% of podcasts in terms of shows released, or even, I think it's even less than that. It might be 37 or 47. I forget the stat off the top of my head, but it's somewhere between 37 and 67. Either way, very low. We're 120, 130 in our first year, and a lot more to come, a lot more things I want to do with the show. I'm looking at potentially bringing on a co-host who I think you guys will love. I'm sure a lot of you guys already know who they are. The second segue with that is really understanding when we talk about commitment. A lot of you guys are dating your business. What do I mean by that? Well, a lot of you guys are doing self-storage and multifamily and wholesaling and flipping and development, and you're doing e-commerce on the side and so on and so forth. Because what ends up happening is anytime our business gets hard, we don't know the answer, we go to a different business model and just repeat what we already know how to do versus figuring out what you don't know how and solving that bottleneck and that issue. So commitment is the theme that I have for you today, top of my mind, whatever. The second part of that is you got to marry your business. Don't date your business. Okay. A lot of us are kind of into our business. We're also kind of keeping these other 3 businesses warm on the side just in case. It doesn't work. Right. Once you go all in on your business will go all in on you. And that's one of my favorite quotes that Alex Hormozi talks about when it comes to being distracted. And I think that's prevalent to the commitment conversation. So topic of today's show is people. How do we know if we're getting a return on our people? I made plenty of episodes about how to hire, who to hire, when to hire them, what to pay them. But today, one of the biggest things that I want to help people understand is how do they know they're getting a return on their investment with people? Because it's hard to know. A lot of you guys, even if you measure KPIs and you coach against those KPIs and you understand how if your team's performing or not, it's still hard to know what kind of return you're getting beyond just profit margin and revenue. So when you look at kind of a good rule of thumb in a real estate business is you want a 5x return on what you're paying someone. So if you're paying your admin assistant that oversees $1,000 a month, are they returning $5,000 a month in value? Probably, right? Because they're freeing up so much of your time to go do higher leverage activities. So I don't mean them specifically are bringing in the revenue. Like your admin assistant's not going to be closing deals on the phone. But what they're doing is freeing up your time so you can spend time on more higher leverage tasks like hiring, like managing, like closing deals. And to me, that is a return on investment. So how do you measure that? How do you know if you're paying them $1,000 and bringing back $5,000? Well, it's just where your time's going. You can do a time audit. You can look at, hey, if I didn't have this person, where would my time be going every single day? And where is it now going? And what do those hours go to? And what outputs do those hours go to? Right. So if you're a one-man show, you're doing a lot of your admin work, but then you hire an admin assistant and you get 4 hours of your day back. Well, say that's an extra 20 conversations you're having per day with sellers. Well, you might know your conversation to contract, right? So you might know internally, hey, if I talk to 100 sellers, I'm getting a deal. So in 1 week, if you get 4 hours back per day, which equals 20 contacts, 20 conversations, that's 100 in that week. You might get an extra deal per month. Or if your average deal size is even 10 grand, you're getting much more than a 5x return on that employee. And that works for stateside employees as well. So as you move up the hiring ladder, which is a topic I talk about a lot on the show, which is going from admin to fulfillment to marketing, sales, leadership, as you move up that ladder, there's a lot of value in understanding admin fees, right? That's an easy return. Fulfillment transaction coordinator, same thing. They're getting your time back from paperwork and title and escrow issues and tenant issues. And then obviously it's pretty clear when you talk about your sales team. Are you getting a 5x return on having them there? If you're paying a sales guy a $5,000 a month base plus 10% commission, it comes out to $100,000 a year. Is that person at least bringing you $500,000 back a year? Right? I like to say one sales guy should bring you anywhere in the 2 to 4 deals per month range pretty consistently. And if they're doing that, they're going to be bringing that return on employee back in. And return on employees is my favorite way to understand if we're getting value out of our organization and what we're doing. The really equation you're looking at is, hey, if I was doing this myself, how many hours would I be putting towards this? So step one is if I was doing this myself, or if I am doing this myself, how many hours are going to this? 2, if I get this off my plate, where would those hours now be going? 3, what will that higher leverage activity equal to in terms of dollar signs? And if that activity is equaling 5 times more dollar signs than you're giving out to that person, you are very successful in terms of hiring, management, delegation, leadership. If you just do that over and over and over and over again for each position in your business, you will build a very cool company because you have people that are producing a return, which equals a healthy profit margin, and you will get paid what you want. Your business will continue to grow. The people that get in trouble is they overstaff. And I've been there myself. You overstaff. So you want a sales guy, you hire 3. And instead of getting 5x return on 1 sales guy, just because it's cool to tell your friends and family reunion that you have 6 employees and 3 sales guys, you really only need 1, but now you have 3. So each sales guy is bringing you a 2 to 3x return instead of a 5. And now you think they're all underperforming. The reality is that you just need 1 that has a lot of opportunity and a lot of coaching, a lot of mentoring, a lot of training. That's the reality of the situation. Very tactical episode there. Again, there's 2 things we talked about today. The theme of consistency. You guys, you don't realize how low the bar is for excellence. If you stay focused, you stay diligent. It's simple. Write down on paper everything your business needs to do to get to where you want to go and align with your 5-year, 3-year, 1-year vision in 90 days. And then do those things day after day and figure it out. Ask yourself the question, if you figured out this issue, right? If your bottleneck is in the business you're in is finding off-market deals to build houses with, and if you build 10 houses a year that are off-market, you make an extra $500,000 a year because now you have that margin back instead of going to wholesalers. Well, if you solve the problem of off-market deal sourcing, is that worth it for $500,000 a year? Over 10 years, $5 million in revenue. Would you solve that problem for $5 million every 10 years? Yes or no? Right? That's the question you need to ask yourself. So again, the bar is low. Consistency, commitment. Don't date other businesses. Marry your own business. Solve the problems in your business. Cherish and go all in on your business. The second thing is revenue per employee. It's a great metric for continuing to build your team and build your business and build your profitability. So definitely 2 things that will help you dramatically grow your business. Well, thanks for sticking around for another episode, you guys. Again, I try to keep these long enough. They provide value, but short enough where it's, 1 session on the treadmill, 1 quick car ride, 1 walk with a dog, and you can get the episode in. I've gotten great feedback on that so far. So again, we don't run any paid advertising on these shows. We grow by word of mouth. So tell a friend, tell a family member that you are getting value from this podcast. And as always, you are only 1 deal away.